Hello, and welcome to the Envision National Young Leadership Forum Explore STEM post-enrollment webinar. You will find this webinar most helpful if you've already enrolled your student into NYLF Explore STEM for summer 2019. I'm Yasmin Warner and one of the program managers for Explore STEM. I joined Envision as a seasonal team member in 2014, and I've been here corporate since 2016. I oversee the programs running in Los Angeles, North Carolina, Chicago, Ohio, Philadelphia, and Atlanta.
And I'm Stephen Lenz, the other program manager of Explore STEM. I joined Envision in 2018, and I oversee programs running in Dallas, Denver, Boston, New York, and San Francisco. Together, Yasmin and I are thrilled to be part of the Envision team preparing the best experience possible for your scholars this summer. First off, on behalf of myself and the entire Explore STEM team, I'd like to welcome you and your scholar to the 2019 Explore STEM program. We cannot wait to meet you and begin this wonderful STEM-filled summer adventure with your scholars. Let's start with a few housekeeping items. Today's webinar is equipped with a dashboard to the right of your screen. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type and submit them there. This webinar will include a 20-minute content section followed by a 15-minute Q&A based on the questions we receive throughout the webinar. We will have someone monitoring the dashboard. If a pertinent question arises, we will try and answer it right away. Otherwise, we will save all questions for the end. Please note that we are keeping a record of all questions, so if your specific question does not get answered during this webinar, we will be following up with an answer to you as soon as we can. At the end of the webinar, there will also be a quick survey for you to let us know how helpful this was to you. Please be honest in your feedback, as this helps us improve future webinars to better suit you and your scholars' needs. And lastly, before we dive in, at Envision, we use the term scholars to refer to students, so you will hear this term used throughout the webinar. This webinar will be recorded and accessible on your student portal after we are done today. If you are not able to follow along with the screens, please reference the recording for any additional support. Okay, let's get started. Okay. In today's webinar, we will cover topics about which we get the most questions at this point in the process. We will be covering information relevant to both our residential and commuter scholars. If there are topics other than these that you would like to hear about, don't forget the dialogue box to your right. Send us a message and we will be sure to follow up. On today's agenda, we will be covering how to access your online information, mandatory travel forms, academic resources, preparing for your program, dress code, meals, other program highlights, your scholar's safety and security, important reminders, and contact information. First up, accessing your online information. At this point in the process, you should have already enrolled your scholar and been prompted to create your login information. In order to access your scholar's account, you will first need to visit envisionexperience.com. At the top right corner of the homepage, you will see Login. Click Login and a dialog box will appear with two options. Click Enrolled Student. You will then be sent to a page with text boxes to input your login information. Enter your email address and password for your scholar account. If you forgot your password, click Forgot Password to begin the password recovery process. You can also go directly to mynvisionexperience.com. You will then be taken to a scholar-specific account page. In the top right of the page, you will click on Enrollment Forms and Info. This will load a page that lists all forms available for your scholar. Several items listed on this page are required for attendance at Explore STEM and/or have deadlines that need to be met in order for us to process the information and have it on file when your scholar arrives. Please pay close attention to the required items in the top section of your Enrollment Forms and Info page. When forms have been downloaded or submitted, a green check mark will appear denoting completion. Let's review some of the items within the required forms section. You should see important information for arrival day. When clicked, it will provide you with the housing, registration, and parking information for your session. The page will also include information regarding registration time and numbers to call should you have any questions. If your scholar is a day scholar, aka a commuting scholar, your form will not include housing information. As a reminder, please revisit this page a few days prior to your arrival day as the finalized parking and arrival day information may be updated between now and then. Also, in the required forms section is the medical authorization and information form. This form is a great place to begin letting us know what dietary restrictions your scholar may have. Once you get to the page, select Click here to download form to download and sign the required medical authorization and information form. Once signed, upload the file back to the site and click Submit Form. Please reach out to Envision Admissions Department to speak to a staff member about any specific and special accommodations that will need to be made for your scholar. We work closely with our colleges and universities to ensure we are able to accommodate these needs. Typical meal requests include vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, lactose intolerant, allergies, kosher, and halal meals. Explore STEM works hard to be a nut-free program. Please note that there are typically vending machines on site at each location that offer snacks with nuts. Scholars are told not to purchase any of these items for the safety of all scholars and staff at the conference. If you choose to send snacks with your scholar, please send nut-free snacks. Given the nature of allergies of staff and scholars, upon arrival, scholars will be asked to turn in any snacks containing or made with nut products to our program office. If your scholar is a residential scholar, you will see a required form titled Mandatory Travel Form. This form will have you provide information regarding your scholar's mode of transportation to the program for arrival day and departure day, as well as information on who has permission to pick your scholar up from the program. We do require that the persons authorized to pick up a scholar have a government-issued photo ID to check the student out, and we will not release scholars to anyone other than the persons listed on your departure form. Please note that this form is not locked after one submission. If you have already filled in your information and need to make updates or changes, you will be able to re-access this form and revise it. You will also have an opportunity to make additional revisions once you arrive on site. For day scholars, you will see the required form titled Mandatory Departure Form. This form will provide you with information on when you can pick up your scholar on each day of the program and will ask you to provide contact information for individuals authorized to pick up your scholar. Again, those authorized to pick up your scholar must have a valid government-issued photo ID that matches the contact information you provide. Next, you will be asked to rank your student's Galaxy Lab preference. All students will participate in each curriculum subject while at Explore STEM. However, your Galaxy Lab will provide a deeper dive into a subject your student is interested in. Please rank your student's top preference as Galaxy Lab Preference 1 and your student's lowest preference as Galaxy Lab Preference 4. We do not guarantee that your student will receive their top choice, but 90% of our students will receive their first or second choice. You do have the option to change your Galaxy Lab preferences up until the submission deadline, which is this Saturday, May 4th. If you have any questions about filling out this form, please feel free to reach out to admissions. The next form listed in the required section is the Medication Management Policy and Medication Administration Form. If it will be necessary for your child to take any medication during the program, prescription or over the counter, please make sure to carefully complete the Medication Administration Form. No medication will be dispensed unless we have a completed form. It is required that all medication be turned into Envision staff in its original packaging and placed in a Ziploc bag with the completed medication administration form and the student's name written on the outside of the bag. All medications, again, prescription or over the counter, will be collected during registration, with the only exception being emergency or rescue medications. All medications will be dispensed or administered by the Envision nurse or an Envision staff designee. The usual times for administration will be at meals, unless other times or special instructions are indicated on the medication administration form. Lastly, you will see the pre-program assessment link in your required forms. We'll discuss these assessments in just a few minutes. Moving on. In order to best prepare for Explore STEM, there are other important forms in the Preparing for Your Program section. This section includes the Housing, Registration, and Travel Information Form, which is the second location where you can find the registration and parking information for your session. The form also includes information regarding registration times, housing accommodations, mealtime information, dietary needs, and departure day information. Day scholars have access to the same form, however, it will not include housing information. Regarding linens, all campuses where Explore STEM takes place do provide linens. However, you are welcome to pack sheets, pillows, etc. from home if you like. Once again, we recommend revisiting these forms a week prior to your arrival day, as they will continue to be updated through the month of May. At the program, we make every effort to keep your scholar active and engaged. We want your child to make the most of their time at the program and enjoy the best experience possible. As this may be the first time many scholars are away from home, some may experience discomfort and homesickness. Envision's staff strive to make scholars as comfortable as possible from the initial adjustment throughout the duration of their time at the program. In the document titled Making the Most of the Experience, there are helpful tips on how to best prepare your scholar to fully enjoy the program. This form includes useful tips such as addressing concerns your scholar may have about attending the program and helping them understand that these feelings are completely normal. Developing a plan ahead of time for dealing with potential homesickness. Sharing your own experience with them and explaining how you got through it in the past. And lastly, remembering to be upbeat and speaking positively about the experience they are getting ready to embark on. Roommate requests. Sometimes scholars from the same school attend Explore STEM and would like to room together. Roommates are assigned by gender and age. If your scholar has someone whom they'd like to room with, please fill out the roommate request form on your student portal. All parties must fill out this form in order for the request to be complete. While most sites can accommodate double roommate requests, not all sites can accommodate triple or quadruple roommate requests. This is determined by which dorm the college or university assigns to our program. If you have questions about whether we can accommodate a triple or quadruple room request, please call the Office of Admissions. Please note that roommate requests have hard deadlines of completion. Also, if your scholar needs to make a room request for any reason other than being placed with a specific person, please contact admissions. Next, when clicking on the Planning, Travel, and Dress Code Checklist link, it will load a PDF file which lists in detail the dress code and packing reminders. Explore STEM enjoys an excellent reputation in our communities as a result of our prestigious scholars. To ensure this continues, all scholars are expected to maintain our dress standards. Our dress code consists of tops and bottoms in solid white, navy, or khaki, and any combination paired with casual shoes. Take some time to review the dress code in detail to ensure your scholar is prepared with the proper clothing and enough to last for the full week. We also encourage families to label the tags of clothing with your scholar's first and last name to avoid any mismatching of belongings between roommates. It is okay if small brand logos on clothing are not within the solid white, navy, or khaki color scheme. Scholars may wear shorts, pants, skirts, dresses, collared shirts, and t-shirts. We ask that all shirts have sleeves and that shorts, dresses, and skirts are an appropriate length. We also recommend that scholars' shoes be comfortable since we will be doing a substantial amount of walking around campus and will give them time to play outdoors. You will also find information regarding electronic device usage in this document. As part of the Explore STEM program, scholars will be asked to complete 2 pre-program assessments. These allow scholars to explore their individual strengths and opportunities for growth. They also allow Explore STEM to provide scholars with a unique academic experience for developing their social and emotional leadership skills. You'll find the pre-program assessments in the section Academic Resources. By clicking on Academic Preparation and Pre-Program Assessments, a PDF document will appear explaining the tasks in more detail. There are other great resources included in your student portal, a few of which I'll highlight now. The program leave request form can be completed if you plan to temporarily check your scholar out of the program. This form will also be provided on-site if you haven't filled it out beforehand. Additionally, the Envision 2019 press release guidelines contains basic facts about the program you are attending. Facts that news reporters can use to generate a story about your acceptance and participation in the program if you decide to share your experience with your family, friends, and community. Next, our Student Code of Conduct and Program Policy outlines the expectations we have for scholars once they arrive at the program. The Tuition and Travel Protection Plan and our Enrollment Information Agreement and Release Form have also been added for your review. Both of these forms appeared when you initially enrolled your scholar in the program. And lastly, the draft schedule provides a general view of the program's daily events in which your scholar will participate during the program. Next, we will transition into program and schedule highlights. Explore STEM is excited to be hosting scholars on 11 different colleges and universities across the United States, including extending our program footprint to 2 new locations, San Francisco State University and the University of Denver. The envisioned way. Explore STEM is made up of a 3-tier curricular approach to experiential learning: academy, lab, and arena. The combination of these events contribute to a holistic experience that builds your scholars' leadership skills, provides career experience, and promotes collaboration with their peers. Academy sessions will feature curriculum that hones in on new and developing skills. Lab sessions will give scholars a chance to use their critical thinking and creative skills to work their way through dynamic simulations. And lastly, in the arena, scholars will get the opportunity to present the results of their hard work on a platform in front of their peers. Now let's dive a little deeper into what events take place during each component. The Explore STEM curriculum allows scholars to experience STEM content through a constructivist approach. Through our hands-on activities, we foster integration of problem-solving and research skills through interactive simulations and investigations. Some activities our scholars participate in include 5 core leadership traits that are the foundation to each of the curriculum components. Scholars will begin each day examining a leadership trait, and then will be able to apply it throughout the day in their academy and lab group activities. Scholars will participate in daily leadership lessons that will help them recognize the importance of their behaviors and the impact they can make on their individual actions. They will learn about the concepts of self-management, time management, communication, and collaboration, and build on each of these skills throughout the week. Students will end the week by creating a career action plan based off of their online assessment results and feedback from their mentors and teachers. This relates to the 2 assessments I mentioned previously. Every student will experience each STEM strand during the program. The following are activities to expect. In the Medicine Academy, students will work to treat injured victims as they learn about emergency medicine techniques designed by Stanford University School of Medicine. Scholars will explore the physical and emotional needs of humans while in space and create a wellness plan for their simulated colonization of Mars. Those participating in the Forensic Science Academy will analyze and solve a fictional crime scene on their Mars habitat. Students will expand their knowledge of forensics techniques such as fingerprinting, blood spatter, and casting. In the Engineering Robotics Academy, students use their critical thinking and creativity to build and program a VEX robot. Their simulated Martian rover will be faced with the challenge of autonomously rescuing a fellow astronaut on the Martian surface. In the engineering design portion of the program, students will discover the capabilities of computer-aided design software. In their small groups, these students will use the engineering design model to create a 3D colony for humans on Mars. Additionally, students will participate in 2 speaking events while at Explore STEM. Each student will hear firsthand from a real NASA astronaut about their journey and their experiences in space. Additionally, students will hear from current STEM professionals at our career panel. These experiences get students excited about many paths available in STEM. We encourage students to ask questions and think about the impact STEM professionals have on the world. Next, we will talk about important safety and security items. The safety and security of our scholars is our #1 priority. We will now go through a number of items to help answer any questions you may have. High-level staff selection. Scholars are led through the program and cared for in small groups by trained advisors. These staff members are experienced with students and have undergone extensive training and background checks. The majority of staff members are educators outside of the summer months and work year-round to provide safe and high-quality experiences for students. Emergency meeting location. During the first group meeting, scholars will take part in a briefing on the policies and procedures of the program. This will include information on whom to contact in an emergency, attendance, off-site safety procedures, and venue safety protocols. They will also practice the emergency evacuation plan in their first small group meeting. Name badges. Envision also has several safety processes in place that we teach scholars and ask them to adhere to throughout the program. All scholars and staff must wear their name badges anytime they are outside of their sleeping room. This name badge will have emergency contact information printed on the back. Staff conduct attendance at every group meeting and any time they transition to a new location to ensure name badges are being worn. Buddy system. Scholars are required to travel with a buddy at all times, specifically when taking bathroom breaks. Scholars will be transitioning to every event with the advisor or another staff member leading them. At no point should a student be traveling around campus without their STEM group. Nightly room checks. Every evening, our scholars are dismissed to their sleeping rooms. Staff will conduct room checks nightly to ensure that all students are in their rooms for the night and distribute any important information for the next day's events. Once room checks are complete, scholars are not permitted to leave their rooms until breakfast the following morning, at which time a staff member will pick them up from their sleeping room and escort them to the dining area. Attendance checks. Attendance is taken several times throughout the day, including at meals, group meeting sessions, before, during, and after transitioning to a new event on campus, and before bed. If there is a missing scholar, we have an emergency protocol to locate that scholar and return them to their group. Staff ratios. At Explore STEM, we have a student to staff ratio of 10:1, and the student to advisor ratio is 20:1. Each classroom will have a support staff member assigned to assist in the learning and distribute the needed materials for each lesson. We also have a team of scholar relations advisors who will support scholars' needs in any way. If your scholar is feeling sick, homesick, or needs something during the program, this team will assist them. We hire educators and individuals in the STEM field from all over the country to serve in these roles. Emergency phone numbers. Students will receive emergency telephone numbers for our staff who are monitoring the dorms throughout the night. They can call this number at any time if they need assistance after a room check. These numbers will be listed on the back of their name badges and are accessible to the scholars at all times. Staff will also be monitoring the halls to assist any students without a phone. Incident reporting. When an incident occurs, our staff spring into action. We will contact you if an incident occurs with your scholar, whether it be behavioral or medical, and all incidents are recorded and reported to the program office. You are involved and informed at every step. We consider an incident to be anything that occurs on program which affects your scholar and is not prearranged per the itinerary. This includes medical issues, weather impacting the schedule, lost items, travel disruptions, etc. Incidents may originate on site, or a parent may call our office with a concern. Our phones are managed 24/7. Every single incident is documented, and follow-up occurs in coordination with on-site staff to reach a resolution. Nurses. A nurse will be on site with the scholars during program hours. During nighttime hours, there are designated scholar relations staff members to take care of reporting medical needs. Scholars will have contact information to reach a scholar relations member at all times of the day and night. To wrap up before the Q&A, we will go over some important reminders. These reminders are to ensure your scholar gets off to a successful start this summer. Please review the Making the Most of the Experience form to help physically and emotionally prepare your scholar for the program. Make sure to complete all required forms on your student portal and to complete your pre-program assessments. And most of all, get ready to embark on the adventure of a lifetime. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We hope to meet each of you and your scholars this summer at NYLF Explore STEM. If you have additional questions, please reach out to the Office of Admissions at 800-781-7185. Now we will turn our attention to the questions that have been asked throughout the webinar in the dialog box. If we do not get to your questions today, we will be sure to follow up with an answer by the end of next week. At this point, I'd like to hand the mic over to my co-manager, Yasmin Warner.
All right. So the next few questions will be things that have been a trend in the question box. If you don't get to some of your questions now, don't worry, we'll all be on the line for the next 30 minutes or so to answer the questions that are in the question box. First question, will the PowerPoint be a recording or is it being sent out? Yes, the PowerPoint will be sent out within a week, and you can also find it on your portal. What is the dress code? Where can we find it? The dress code is listed on your portal, but to think of this simply, just make sure that you're wearing khaki, blue, or white in any combinations. So that can be a blue shirt, a navy blue shirt that's collared. It can be a navy blue shirt that's not collared. You can wear khaki pants or skirts or skirts. You can also wear a white shirt or blue pants, any combination of that khaki, blue, or white that are solid. If you have any more questions, feel free to look on the student portal as well as to call our Office of Admissions. What is the student portal? So the student portal is a specialized, personalized website just for your student, where it collects all of your information. And if you have any questions specific about our program, most of that information is listed there. And you can visit that at myenvisionexperience.com. Are meals in the dining hall free or provided by Envision? Absolutely. All of our residential students will get breakfast, lunch, and dinner and have a snack later on in the evening. All of our day students will be getting lunch and dinner. How are roommates assigned? That's a great question. Our roommates are assigned by age and gender. And from after that, they are kind of random. So as long as our students are the same gender and the same age as possible, that they will be roommates together. However, you do have the option to do a roommate request, which is something that can be done on the student portal. Last question, are there field trips? Unfortunately, we don't have any field trips at Explore STEM. So we'll be on campus the entire time. All right, thank you for joining us this evening. If you do have any questions, please feel free to continue to ask them in the question box. We will keep this chat open for about the next 30 minutes or so to continue to answer your questions. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really look forward to seeing you all this summer.